So my name is Sarah Ann, and I've been looking at police brutality and the culture that surrounds it, both in technology and economics, partially, but mostly in medium. So what that it means for it to be in video form and how news websites present it. Okay, so just to say a little bit about the interest, you see this on the left is what you see on CNN's website, and I use CNN for a lot of the case study for this project because it was it's for almost all related searches related to police brutality. CNN tends to be one of the first to come up. So the things that I'm interested in, why is it graphic? Why in the CNN presentation they blur out blood, even though they're showing this really graphic portrayal violence, and they also bleep censor curse words, which I thought was really strange. And so I'm kind of responding to articles written that call the content snuff, that it's traumatizing and depressing, and then also looking at how it's circulated on things like social media. So like this New York Times web article. So another question was whether these videos are corresponding with activism. So if more videos and more video coverage led to more change and reform and public opinion, how that was correlating. So these are my questions. What do they do? How are they helpful? So the things I'm going to talk about that are part of news culture: neoliberalism, infotainment, objectivity and medium, activism and humanity. And then, so the way I studied it with the case studies, I'm looking at the websites, how they're designed, and then a comparison between how the videos are presented on CNN's website and Democracy Now! Okay, so looking at neoliberalism, just what we've already heard before, the whole idea of market kind of directing social interactions. So popular content, if you look at the CNN page, has top stories, most watch. It's all about how many people you can get to view it. So it's separate from political ideology in a lot of ways, but going by what is most popular. And so this goes into spectacle and design of what can keep attention, what's dramatic, what's spectacular. And then another iteration of neoliberalism is in the way that we consume other media. So if you look at Judge Judy and shows like American Idol or Survivor, it's about having the audience have an opinion and make some kind of judgment on the content they're watching. So applying that to news and how people circulate things, it's giving some kind of participation, and just going back to my question of, is that participation useful? Is it working for social justice type like intent and agenda? So these are some some clips from videos to screenshots to illustrate what I was looking at. This is the CNN presentation. So they have some very like baseline informational just text over the video, and then during the most graphic parts, they'll take away the text and just show what was going on. So when Alton Sterling is like slammed to the ground or when he's shot, the text goes away. But as you'll see in this last one and in this next one, that the the text compared to what I'm going to show in the Democracy Now! Text and the video and the audio that they provide, it's very bland, talking about where it happened, who the person was involved, but nothing really about them as a person, about their family, about their community. And so one of my claims is that videos don't provide context or ethics, which is in a lot of ways I think straightforward. But then we have, and so part of this, something I'm going to talk about later is that videos and they're associated with objectivity, and I don't question the objectivity, but I question what it's explaining. So where the detail is the detail in ethics, or is the detail in this particular moment, which isn't going to tell you any kind of moral lessons. So this is the Democracy Now! Coverage, and it has this broadcaster, and she's talking about his family. He was a father, talking about where he grew up, and then before the video even starts of the shooting, they show like the story is really about the protests that are happening afterwards. So, it's showing where it happened and the people, the community that have come up and mobilized. So, claim using Judith Butler's text on precarity, lives are by definition precarious. They can be expunged at will or by accident. Their persistence is in no sense guaranteed. So with that quote, I'm looking at humanity. So humanity is this thing that all humans have humanity, but I think one thing that we expect out of these types of videos, or what maybe some people would hope that they would give, was they prove humanity, or like people gain humanity through seeing photos of the person or through seeing death. So it's these two kind of things that show different sides of what it is to be human, but I wonder if they really advocate for the person who is killed in these videos. And then, so after that, in the Democracy Now! Video, that's when they play the video of the shooting, and then at that point, of course, the whole thing with video and online content is you can pause it and look away, but in this it goes on, it shows his son, it shows the son's mother. So going back to the video objectivity, an example of this is you see this photo of people dancing, and in the video they're dancing, playing music from their cars, and then there's a whole group of people outside. And I think, so one thing about this that I'm trying to prove is that this is really, you don't know what's going on. Is this a riot? Is this a protest? Is this a peaceful gathering? Is it about to become violent? So even though you can see all the things and you can't doubt that there are people outside, you don't know why they're there. So it's still about interpretation, and it's not just being objective. So then video subjectivity, for example, it's the additional content that's being given before and after the video that Democracy Now! Does and CNN doesn't. So here you have Amy Goodman, and she's interviewing people, and throughout the interview they're showing pictures of Alton Sterling. So what can video do? What can it not do? I'm saying that it can prove or disprove police. So a big part of what police brutality videos have done is they show that officers can't lie. And for this I look at the case of Rodney King to show how, yes, the video was disturbing, but what made people riot and caused the riots was that the officers were acquitted. So it's that very tangible decision that, it's traumatizing, and it is it proves video does do something. It convinces people of reality if they doubt it, but it can't provide past or post-event context, and it can't provide ethical or political guidance.